I wanted to know what happened last night, really. Like, what was Ubisoft and Sony like?
Ubisoft had presentation issues again, as usual. But the lineup was pretty impressive. Far Cry 3 looked controversial, but definitely, Far Cry 3 will be definitely talked about a lot at the show. They didn't show a great deal on Blacklist. It was just a trailer because they'd already shown it at Microsoft. What else?
What was controversial about Far Cry 3?
Tits.
The tech demo, the live demo started with sex.
Pretty much.
Right.
Like, not just nudity, they were going for it.
What, actual penetration?
Actual
From like,
sex.
no, not like
Well,
penetration,
not,
but from the perspective.
Right.
It was like a POV.
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you. Broke up.
It was like a point of view cowgirl video.
Right. Interesting.
Which was surprising.
Apparently so. Right.
It's the same demo Nathan saw anyway, so.
Right. Okay.
What else? Like I said, Blacklist was just a trailer, nothing else, because they'd already shown it at Microsoft. They did a Wii U segment.
Did they say that Splinter Cell was going to Wii U? Did they confirm that? Did they?
No. They didn't. No, I'd assume that'll be announced today, considering they never announced it last night. They never announced anything or they never press released anything from the press conference last night. So I'd assume that'll be done today.
So what was the I thought that Ubisoft was going to have a bunch of Wii U stuff.
There was only 2 games they properly showed.
Short sizzle reel where they hinted at, well, they showed a very small snippet of like a Rabbids game. They put the Assassin's Creed 3 logo in it, but they really didn't talk about it that much, except to say that Killer Freaks from Outer Space had become Zombie U.
And the demo of Rayman.
The demo of Rayman Legends, yeah. So I think it's being saved.
Okay, so was Sony any good then? I've had a sort of quick look through Rob's thing, but it seems like they didn't. I was really expecting them to show Call of Duty on Visa.
Well, they showed.
Yeah, they didn't. They gave it maybe 15 seconds. I think.
Oh right.
Richard
So
gave it a text blurb.
So they did actually show it. You saw it running.
No. They didn't show it. They didn't show it. No. They didn't show it at all. The name Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified.
Oh, and they said it uses both sticks.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job. I've just watched the Beyond trailers and the Last of Us trailers. I thought the Beyond one was quite interesting, although they need to sort out their fucking script writing. Like this, I don't know, it seemed quite cheesy, and like I was quite surprised to see where he's gone with that, because like Heavy Rain was like this sort of really sort of gritty, like actually really depressingly horrible human drama, and Beyond is like this fucking like. It looks like this sort of like Hollywood sci-fi thing.
But that's fine, because Quantic has always had this supernatural thing in their games, like hidden within, like be it Fahrenheit or even to some extent like Heavy Rain. So at least now
there was nothing supernatural about Heavy Rain.
Oh no. Well, there were some certain elements, like tiny elements, not as much Fahrenheit elements, but
no, there weren't. It was a serial killer story.
Yeah, but.
There was nothing supernatural about it at all. Like,
I'm trying to find the right way to explain it, but there was to a certain like.
No, there wasn't. what was there in there that was supernatural? There wasn't at all. Like, that's what I mean. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think I don't know.
But at least Cage now, like he did this with Fahrenheit, like. You could say at least now Fahrenheit had that sort of thing, and at least now Cage is at least now Cage is up front with it. Like, he's saying, this is what it is. Like, it's going to be, you know, supernatural. Like, instead of hiding it away at the end of the game, like Fahrenheit. So.
Okay.
So.
I
Like,
don't know. It looked pretty video gamey to me. Like with the SWAT team and the cop with a cup of coffee. I don't know. I thought the tech was brilliant. Like it looked wicked, yeah. But I mean, and like I thought The Last of Us. Like again, it looks fantastic. But fuck me, like could it be any more violent? Like I was expecting him to like at the end of that to actually cut that fucking guy's head off. Do you know what I mean? And feed it to the little girl or something. Like it's mental. I mean, yeah, it looks wicked, again, but like seriously, like you know, it was incredibly violent. I don't know. Was that just me or what? I don't know.
No, you're right, but here's the thing I've kind of picked up. Like, I feel there have been some games shown in the past week and yesterday that have, you know, sort of glamorized it. The two examples that come to my head are Dishonored and Far Cry, and they do look generally good work, but they've just basically glamorized it, whereas The Last of Us just, you know, runs with it and shows it as this dark, I'm trying to find the words for it, but they're not glamorizing it to the extent that, you know, those games are doing it as such, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
So,
I just think, yeah. I don't know, like Sony for me, I don't know, I didn't quite expect it to be that hard, the content.
Like, they did nail it all.
I don't know why. But, I mean, yeah, again, I think I think both Sony and Microsoft have done a pretty good job of just padding it out for another year. I think that's basically what they've done. I thought all of the sort of AAA games in both of those conferences looked like, you know, really good, if not just a little blurry. Beyond looks different.
Oh yeah.
But I think, especially from Microsoft, I mean, bloody hell, it is starting to look really similar. I was very surprised by Tomb Raider. Again, like, you know, that really did look like Uncharted. Like even like the bullet effects.
It did,
yeah. You know what I mean? When people are shooting at it, like the bullets spray in the same bloody way. It looks exactly the same. And like the animations, like when she's jumping over bridges and stuff like this, it looks exactly the same.
Oh yeah, like yeah, it's definitely starting to come across as Uncharted now. Pretty much, like this is pretty much Xbox's Uncharted. There's a reason why they showed it on that stage yesterday. Like, they need an Uncharted to compete with Uncharted.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So, and obviously now that Time DLC, you know, pretty much blocks it as such as Xbox's Uncharted.
But I think it was interesting that that Sony presented with platform exclusives. I mean, they were both with Ubisoft. So, I mean, that's only one publisher relationship, but it's always been Microsoft in the past that's done locked DLC, and now Sony's pulled two out of the bag. I thought that was really interesting, especially given how long they devoted to Ubisoft in their press conference.
Yeah.
It's quite a different aspect that they're presenting.
And there was no mention...
They didn't give that much fanfare to their big first-party exclusives, which I would have thought would be what they would have fired out of the cannon straight out of the way.
How much time did they give to Beyond and to The Last of Us?
They gave The Last of Us about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and they gave Beyond about 15. Like, Beyond was at the start, and The Last of Us was at the end of it, so...
Right.
Last of Us was quite presented really well. They didn't introduce it at all. They just dropped the theatre almost dark as they could. And then brought in the sound and then brought the lights up with a single guy on stage playing. There was no voiceover, no introduction, no discussion of how amazing Naughty Dog are. The first thing anybody said about it was when the conference was over, and Jack Tretton was just like, isn't that amazing? And that was the end. Which I thought was really cool. They were just like, we'll just let the games speak for themselves. It's so hardcore.
See, I just try to find the trends. Like the trends I can see are cover shooting and there was a fucking lot of that. Like, there was an awful lot of it. Like, I mean, it was either even more so than FPS, because like I suppose the only what were the big shooters? Actually, there was quite a lot of it. There was
Dead Space. Dead Space.
First person.
Oh, first person. Right. Sorry, I thought you meant shooters.
There was Halo, Black Ops,
Far Cry,
Dishonored.
Dishonored.
Is Dishonored a shooter? I mean, it's first person, but
I suppose.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Skyrim a shooter, and I would say it's closer to Skyrim than Black Ops.
Oh, Medal of Honor and Crisis.
Yes. And Battlefield, to an extent.
And then the third-person stuff, like, to me, started to look really samey. So there was, like, what was there? Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed.
Dead Space.
Dead Space? Bloody hell, there were some eyebrows being raised on Twitter about that. That looked to me like Gears of War.
It was basically Army of Two. It came across as Army of Two to me.
But the feel of it was completely different. Like, Dead Space 2 is bloody horrible. Like, you really feel enclosed. And
yeah, I put that disc in my freezer, man. That was not cool.
Yeah, but like I think it may suffer from the problems that the Gears of War suffered when it went to Gears of War 3, because in the third one, like, because of the co-op, they had to open up the environment. And like in the second one, it was like much more enclosed, and you feel under a lot more pressure. And obviously, for a horror game, that's pretty important. Like, and I thought in the chatter in Dead Space 3, I mean, it was full of like one-liners and people saying fuck to each other and stuff.
Army of Two.
Isn't there some suggestion that your co-op partner is like a fragmented part of Isaac's psyche?
There's some people have said
I mean, maybe they're just going to work that like psychological horror angle, which is another way of saying not actually horrific horror.
It seemed a bit like it just seemed like a sort of cheesy movie. Like in the second one, there's you're really under pressure from like your sort of resources restrictions as well. Like you've hardly got any ammo in it, so it's like a proper horror game. And this they were running around that giant bloody drill, just shooting, just like running around shooting. Like, you don't do that in Dead Space 2. It's all about like you're constantly being shocked, and you just have to fucking nail the enemies really quickly, or they just kill you. And in that, there was just this massive drill. What was the drill thing? I was confused. I was confused by the drill.
I tell you what does look a lot more like Dead Space, and this is a game I never thought I'd compare to Dead Space, Lost Planet 3. That looks an awful lot like Dead Space.
Right.
I haven't seen too much of it, but the screens, like, I saw I think it was a few days ago, looked an awful lot like Dead Space.
Right.
Where did Capcom present their assets? Were they shown in the Microsoft presser, or did they just throw them out there?
Well, they did.
They showed Resident Evil at Microsoft.
Yeah, they did. But again, it was cover shooting. They were hiding behind doors and like behind fucking tables and stuff. And this is what I mean about The Last of Us as well. Like, when they're moving through those rooms, if you actually look at the actual core mechanics of it, it's a guy hiding behind a table. It was the same with Tomb Raider as well. She was just like hiding behind a wall. And with Splinter Cell as well.
Mechanic.
But
we had the same argument when first-person shooters came to prominence, right? Like, it's all the same for about. It's just putting that reticule on target and pulling the trigger is inherently satisfying. So.
I'm pretty sure if we put those trailers side by side for Splinter Cell, Tomb Raider, The Last of Us, Dead Space 3, I'm pretty sure we could find jigsaw bits in all of those games where they all look pretty much the same.
You said that last year about Assassin's Creed and Uncharted as well.
That's true. Maybe it's a generation thing. I don't know. The other trend was the lack of motion. Because for the last 2 years, Microsoft has talked about Kinect massively in its press conference. It didn't talk about it at all this year, at all. And Sony didn't talk about
10 seconds.
There you go.
Well,
It's over.
Yeah, they didn't have much.
Not at all. It's fucking over. It was a red herring. We were all right. There you go. It doesn't work properly. It really doesn't work properly. I think instead of talking about like motion, they're all talking about like connected ecosystems with like network devices.
Yeah.
Which is basically what Nintendo's doing with Wii U. But like Microsoft gave over a big part of that conference to Smart Glass, which looked fucking brilliant.
It does, yeah.
But that I'm pretty sure that out of the box, PS4 and 720 are going to support like iPad and your Android phone, like as soon as you plug it into a TV. That's like honestly that motion thing, considering the amount of song and dance they made over Move and Connect. Like the only Kinect stuff in the Microsoft conference that I can remember, I mean obviously there was Dance Central 3 because that works and it's about dancing, but like the only other stuff was like Madden and FIFA, which was like voice commands, and they had the voice commands for Splinter Cell as well. I don't think there was anything else with it.
There was that castle game too. I can't remember.
Racketeer.
Racketeer, that's what you call it. And Gord Verbinski's making a Kinect game too.
Oh, fuck me.
Steven Spielberg making a game too. That was great. Remember that? Why did we keep doing this to ourselves?
But yeah, I mean, like, I obviously didn't see the Sony thing. So there was literally nothing apart from that like one thing on Move.
Yeah, they just said that there are 250 games or something that support Move, which seems wrong. And they mentioned Dust 514 and Bioshock Infinite, and then they changed the subject.
Right. And did they talk about like connecting up? They did talk about like connecting Visa, didn't they, to PS3? Did they talk about like did they talk about tablets at all?
No. Oh yes.
No, but they did announce that partnership with HTC for the PlayStation Suite, and they've renamed it now PlayStation Mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, they have just renamed like Sony Ericsson, Sony Mobile, so maybe it's just part of their ongoing shuffle or whatever, but they could be. That thing you said before about the PS4 supporting Android straight out of the box.
It will do.
If you add all these things up, that starts to look kind of...
Honestly, it's a trend. Like if you like a few years ago it was motion. You know, all of a sudden like they were all doing motion at exactly the same time. And if you actually look at what they were talking about like this year, it was there was a big chunk of it was all about like connecting smaller screens to the big screen. Like the whole sort of like connected ecosystem thing in your living room. I mean that was basically what Nintendo was talking about the other day. That was a huge part of what they were talking about, being able to take your screen with you when you walk around, and not just being a slave to the big screen. That smart glass thing was fucking incredible. I mean that's the future, right? Surely. You know, like doing stuff on your phone and then sitting down and pressing a button and then it happens on your Xbox 360 as well. And controlling the actual TV itself with your phone. I mean, that'll be a big part of like Apple TV, surely.
It will be. Like with Siri and all. Has to be.
Amazing. So there you go. Cover shooting and ecosystems.
But there's one more bit from we haven't talked about. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs.
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
You need to see it. You need to see it.
It's Assassin's Creed.
Is it a cover shooter?
It is actually. No,
yeah, I guess it is.
It is
Really?
towards the end. But the premise for that just sounds.
Is there a bow in it?
A bow?
No.
No.
We didn't see a
Fucking
bow.
hell.
We didn't see a bow, so. But it's another year out than the bow fashion, so maybe the year that Watch Dog comes out, it'll be EMP pulses, which are the new bows. Just like bows are the new everything being on fire of this year.
Oh yeah. They were liking fire at the moment.
No, it wasn't as much fire as last year. Last year everything was on fire. A lot of water this year.
Fucking hell.
There was a lot of water.
There was quite a lot of water.
Water's looking really good this year.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty
really
good.
Nailed it. It started to
really
be amazing.
You could piss in that water. I like the. I've just watched the Far Cry trailer, and I actually really like that. I really like. I didn't see the. I've only seen the sort of shortcut, so I didn't see the sort of the sex bit. But I really can't wait to play that game because like I don't know. It just looks like a lot of fun to me. I don't know. Like it's like I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy Tomb Raider and The Last of Us, blah blah blah. But they seem to take the violence very seriously. Like at least Far Cry 3 doesn't just seem to give a shit. It's just stupid, basically. I like the fucking tiger. Man. It's got
I don't know, like some of the melee kills in Far Cry, like in the multiplayer, the one that they showed there went very quickly. But in the single player stage demo, like those animations are quite lengthy and lots of sprays and very, very visceral.
Mm.
So, I mean, maybe just because you're too busy looking at the gorgeous scenery, you don't notice as much.
Yeah, that's it. Far Cry's got some fucking wicked water. Fair dues. The water in that, absolutely splendid water. Well done, Ubisoft Montreal. Very good.
I will never be sold on another Far Cry again. Never after Far Cry 2.
Honestly, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Far Cry 2 is brilliant. There's something really
Far Cry 2 was shit. Like, I'll give it its due. It looked brilliant, but it was otherwise shit.
No, Far Cry 3 will be fucking brilliant because it's just so completely stupid. Like, it's about a fucking drug pirate nonsense with like tigers and shagging someone on an island. You know what I mean? It'll be fun. You know what I mean? It will be. It's like adult entertainment. But like the Sony stuff looks far grittier, definitely. Which is absolutely fine. But yeah, it's all a bit sort of this seems a lot more serious.
Why don't they show like Papa and Yo or whatever it's called, and why didn't they show any of their great indie stuff?
Because it's not really about that, is it? E3 is just not about.
I mean, like they go on to say Journey is the best-selling PSN game of all time.
Yeah, they briefly mentioned.
Here's some other things that we've funded through the same initiative, which we're not going to show you.
Mm.
Why would
yeah, like they showed. They didn't show it, but they briefly mentioned like Journey, and they mentioned the upcoming slate for PSN, like Papa and Yo and the Unfinished Swamp.
I don't think
and
they
that
even
was
mentioned Sound Shapes.
No, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
I just think those conferences are just all about AAA, like, and they probably always will.
They spend so much time. They spend so much time on the Wonder Book, Pat. How can they? Like, how long did Microsoft spend talking about TV services? You can't say these conferences are all about AAA.
Yeah, but that stuff, I suppose that, yeah, I guess, yeah. But that stuff really is important to them, you know. And I understand why they do focus on it. Like, you know, obviously TV services make them probably a lot of money, but I doubt like indie games do that well for them really in comparison. And like I think the Wonder Book stuff, I mean, isn't J.K. Rowling involved in that?
Yes, she is.
Well, there you go.
That's going to sell a lot. If they
Well, will it?
Well, it's got J.K. Rowling's name on it, so if
But
but if
It's in collaboration with Pottermore, and Pottermore has like, I don't know, X many gazillion subscribers or whatever, and it's that same kind of like really, really intense fandom detail of like, I don't know, I used to really like Harry Potter, but it seemed a little inaccessible. But you know, like if there's a market for Pottermore, there's a market for these books.
I guess.
Like these people that they're going to sell them to are adults. I don't know what the overlap between people who own like a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation Eye, a PlayStation Move controller, and a plastic Platin who play Pottermore are.
Yeah, it's like as soon as every element you add reduces the audience. Like this is why I understand why they're doing it. Again, like it's a great time because they get to put out a press release saying that J.K. Rowling's doing something. But I think like the whole Connect Move debacle is pretty it's pretty clear that when you like as soon as you like add expensive peripherals to consoles, like it's really difficult. I think really difficult. I'm really actually very surprised. No, in fact, I'm not surprised at all. Like just how quickly those things have fucking vanished. Because more so almost than the next generation. It's just this sort of elephant in the room. They all stood up there like a year ago and said that this was the fucking future of video gaming, and now they're saying nothing about it at all.
Which pretty much means there's going to be an egg on face moment when the next gen comes around next year.
The thing is, right?
No, they'll just abandon it. They'll just abandon it.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't
No.
have the time. Make a peripheral, sell it, break even, drop it, leave.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Nobody will
It's
even
true.
remember. You know,
Right.
you know what we're all like. Something happens and we wave our fists and we're like, oh, we'll never trust this company again. And then next E3 we're like, oh my god, look at that, it's amazing. I will buy it all. Like, you're gonna do it to us again.
No, I think the sort of the 2-screen setup, or 3-screen or 4-screen setup in the living room, that will stick, because everyone has a smartphone. And like, I really think that's the takeaway from what I've seen this year of like what we're going to be looking at over the next sort of 2-3 years is the second screen, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
It is.
Well, we got Nintendo, haven't we?
Yeah. So, I think I'll point this down over that one. You guys can fill me in on all the Marios tomorrow.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited for the Marios.
Oh.
That's what they're called, right? Marios? Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Right, I'm going to de-broadcast us. And thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you later.
All right.
Goodbye.